this, we're gonna do kind of a bigger project. We're gonna make our own cardboard caddies or shoebox caddies. And if you can see, it's just, it's like the old tool boxes. But we're gonna do it out of a shoebox. So you're gonna need a shoebox, preferably with a lid that comes off, because I made that mistake and didn't. And you can see I had to build up the back of my shoebox to make it one of those and cut it off. So you need a shoebox, you're gonna need a ruler. Even though I'm not loving the idea of exactness, in this case, we do need to be a little more exact than normal. Scissors, a marker, pretty papers, and I will show you where. I am not going to decorate this box. I'm just going to show you how to do it and tell you when you should actually start decorating the box if you're going to. And also an X-Acto knife. So again, parents or older siblings, this is a job for you. All right, so the first thing you're gonna wanna do, you can see I already have a V on here, but you're gonna put your ruler on here and find your center. My center is right about there. And if you're gonna see over here, it's right here. So then what you're gonna do is take your ruler and mark your centers on both sides, and then you're gonna make a V. Since you know the center point, you can make it even. Make your V even. I've already done my V. You're gonna cut out the V. So my box was, I cut out a new box or a new V to show you. So you're gonna cut that one out and save this one, because then you can just lay it up against your other side and you will have the exact same V. So that's what we're gonna do. And then we're gonna go ahead and cut out our second V. Now, this is a smaller shoebox than I used before. And the cutting might be a little difficult here, but it's doable. It's just, I mean, especially with the shoeboxes that they have today, it's not, shouldn't be terrible. So there's that. So that's what it's gonna look like. And once you do that, then you're going to bend it back, and you're gonna try to make sure that you get it to be equal or symmetrical on both sides. If you don't, it's not gonna matter that much, because we're gonna glue that down. And you can see mine is kind of up a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can bend it back a little more to get it down. There you go. And so you're gonna have something that looks like this. So now what you're gonna do, and you don't, I did not use a ruler for this. I just drew, and I'll show you. I'm gonna get a little handle insert. And you can be as exact as you wanna be, but I did something like that. Okay? And then take your X-Acto knife, and I'm gonna get a piece of cardboard here to put under here so I can jab holes. And again, older sibling, parent, you're going to X-Acto right on through this, or perforate it with the X-Acto knife, and then go back with your scissors and get it out. And I'm just taking little stabs at it. You could point and drag, but maybe if you were going to give the littles a chance, you might start with the small points on a line and let them just punch in order to be a little bit safer. Okay, this is what you're gonna get. So then you're gonna go, it's gonna look like that. And then I just went ahead and drew right through it and I'm going to punch through. And this is probably the hardest thing that you're going to do with this. And you can see how I'm doing that. And it's going to be rough. It's not, and this is where I would say to you, start thinking about using your pretty papers and to decorate once we get this out. There's that. So parents definitely want to, parents and older siblings. So there you have it. So we have essentially our box that's doing this, and you're going to need hot glue. Because after you get both of those punched in, then you're going to come back over here and just hot glue it all the way down. And I don't spare any hot glue on this because you don't want this coming apart. Now, if you're decorating, you will have some reinforcements that will come later. If you are not, definitely hot glue them a bunch on the back of here. I would say get especially around the edges of the handle area and there, and the ends. You want the ends to definitely be hot glued. All right, then we're going to do that. We're going to smush, 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 and there you go. So you can see that right now, getting this to dry, and you could do this with spool glue, but I don't know, hot glue gun is faster, and I think with this it's probably going to stick a little bit better. So there's the framework for your caddy. I would say, especially if you were going to do the sides, I'd go ahead, pick up my papers, and you could actually lay it down on and cut around. That way you could go ahead and just glue it on there, and you might want to use school glue for that because it will do less warping. You can do that for both sides, okay? But again, I'm not going to do that because I'm just going to show you how to construct. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our little box and stick it right in there, and then we are going to mark it where we are going to cut. Yep. Oh, that is sticking out a little bit. Okay. You get it right in there and push it right very tightly up against. So then, and it's kind of angled down. Obviously, I'm going to use my bigger scissors here, so have a couple of pairs of scissors hanging. In case one doesn't work so well. And then just cut across. Now, you might have to straighten this up, but again, all this can be cured with the fact that you're going to decorate your box. There. I know that looks a little rough, but again, you're not going to be thinking of that. So that's your side for that one. And then we're going to turn it around, do the same thing over here. And you see how that's coming apart? Don't worry about that. You can hot glue that back together. There you go. You're going to do the same thing. And believe it or not, I actually do use my caddy when I am hanging my shows at the library. If I don't want to use my whole toolbox and bring my whole toolbox. This it can hold my little necessities. I put in there my tape measure, just some of the wall hangings I need. Now I'm gonna straighten out my box that I have torn here. And hold that for a minute. So yeah, it comes in really handy to throw some things in instead of, like, you know, having to go to the store and buy like a plastic one or something. And I've had this now for 3 years. So they do hold up, and I keep using it until it falls apart. I mean, there's no signs of that. So I would say the sturdier your shoebox is, the better. So as I'm doing this, I'm gonna go ahead and put glue in here. And glue. Yeah. And then set it up. And at the bottom too. The bottom is good too, to go ahead. Put glue in. And again, depending on how you're gonna do this, if you're just gonna leave it plain, I would put lots of glue in there. But if you're gonna decorate it, it can be a little easier with the glue. So there's that. All right. Now, we'll do the other side. Just press it down. And you see why if you were going to decorate with the papers, you would want to do it before you put the edges on, because the edges will stick out a little bit. Now, if you don't care about that, that's fine. You can then lay it on. You can decorate it at this point. But so there you go, guys. That is your shoebox caddy. Small and very useful, and doesn't take too long to do unless you decorate it. And I hope that you would have fun. I mean, I have seen some of these decked out in frills and all kinds of good stuff. You could use washi tape even to, I mean, you can see on here, I did for my corner reinforcements, I used washi tape, and then I went back over with some packing tape just to make sure. And I'm sure that's why it's held up this long. And of course, for me, it's good to have my little name on it, so in case I leave it somewhere, people know where to send it home to. All right, so that is our grand finale of March Out of the Box. I hope you create your shoebox caddy and have lots of cool things to do with it. All right, well, I will see you, well, we are seeing you on Facebook and YouTube, and hopefully see you in the library.